Welcome to Savant Spring 2026 release webinar. I'm Barry Burns, Head of Success and co-founder here at Savant. I'm thrilled you carved out some time for us today. The theme of this release that you can see on the slide is delivering defensible AI, and that phrase is very deliberate. Over the past year, we've watched the conversation shift from can AI do this to can we trust it, prove it, and stand behind it when auditors show up, right? And everything, well, primarily the most important things we're going to walk you through today is built around that shift. Joining me is fellow co-founder and VP of Product, Matt Mesher. Matt leads the roadmap and hands-on with all of the features that we're announcing here today. So when you get these demos from Matt, you're hearing from the person who actually shaped what you're about to see. And for context on me, running customer success, I spend most of my week with the teams actually using Savant production, working with their IT and audit teams to know how and where they can leverage Savant. A lot of what's in this release today came directly from conversations with customers. Here's the shape of today, Matt, if you want to go to the next slide. 4 headline capabilities. The one that we're going to probably spend the most time on is SOX Governance, the controls, approvals, and audit evidence that make AI workflows defensible in regulated environments. We will then move to geospatial analytics, which is location intelligence built directly into your Savant workflows. Then we'll cover our new vision agent skills, which helps turn unstructured PDFs into clean, structured data without prompt engineering overhead. And then finally, talk about our Lightning Engine, which is a step change in processing speed. So your biggest workflows finish in seconds, not minutes, in minutes, not hours. We're going to go really deep on SOX, and Matt's going to walk through the rest. And stick around because there is a huge AI related announcement coming at the end of this webinar. So even if SOX governance isn't the most important to you, there's some really cool stuff coming. So please stick around towards the end. I think that's, in my opinion, the most exciting part of this release. So before I hand it over to Matt, one last thing, why this matters, right? And Matt, if you can switch one more time. Grant Thornton's 2026 AI Impact Study surveyed business executives on AI governance readiness, and 78% said they lacked confidence that they could pass an AI governance audit within 90 days. Right? That's an overwhelming majority of enterprises who have AI working on production projects right now without the controls to defend it. Right? And we've dug into why. Using chatbots, using AI in your workflows misses change management. There's no obvious sign-offs or approvals that, what's been built has been approved. And evidence collection around what's done, what the LLM, how the steps that the LLM took to produce any output is super manual, right? So when audit season comes, teams are screenshotting UIs, exporting some logs to try to reconstruct what happened. But again, it really hurts defensibility. So this is the gap between AI that's super impressive in a demo and AI that's defensible in production. Closing that gap is what this release is all about. And with that, Matt, I'll hand it over to you.
Great, thanks. I appreciate that. Hey, everyone. So as Barry said, I'm going to take you through a lot of our great product updates in this spring release. So thanks for the tee up there, Barry. Is your as you said, tremendous amount of value I think we're all seeing in potential with AI. The question is, how do we get from testing to production, especially when you work in regulated areas like finance? A lot of these things we spent all this time in our previous stacks building in. We need to make sure it's there when we're doing AI automation, AI analytics as well. So we want to show you how we're tackling that in our release today. We have a whole suite of really comprehensive features for you here. So if you're in a finance team, and you work in a regulated environment and you have to meet your SOX objectives and controls. We'll show you how version controls, deployment, sign-off, and approvals, and then logging will solve a lot of your pain and make this a lot easier to deploy and use safely. Or if you're just generally maybe outside of finance, you're still doing a lot of analytics, huge value for you here to be able to control much more of your system processes. Make sure your analytics, make sure your processes are all governed tightly, controlled tightly, and as accurate as possible. There's no accidental hiccups or issues. So let's get out of slides for a second. Let me show you a bit of what we've been working on. It's a lot more fun to see products. So jumping on over here, some of you on the webinar today have probably seen Savant. Maybe it's new to some of you as well. And so we're an AI automation platform for analytics. You can build and automate anything you do in Excel and spreadsheets for an automation platform to take that to the next level. So here's what a solution could look like for you in Savant that's blending together information from your ERP, your Workday, maybe from your file systems. It's pulling in flat files, it's pulling in data tables, it's pulling in PDFs, doing all that work for you. And now what you want to do is actually have a control system around it so you can deploy this safely ongoing into production. So the first thing you'll notice now in Savant is we have these really great version controls for you. So up top, you'll notice it says that I have currently published version 8, and I'm working up here on version 9. That means I have nice separation between my test and production. Really nice, clean control for you now, so you can iterate without having to worry about if you have something already automated in production, you won't impact it now. And with that, you can go into the run history, and you can actually see what you're running in production. Like always with Savant, we keep a really nice, robust run history that you can always click into. And you can see exactly what the business logic was that was used at different points in time, what the results of it, every step were, gives you full end-to-end review and auditability control. But now what's really great in the run history itself is we have the versioning built in for you. So you can see exactly what version was run at which time. There's also a version history that you go to. This is what the version history looks like now. Here you can see each version. I can see when the version is published. I can come in, I can click at the version. I can see exactly what this version looks like specifically. I can even go and run things like we call an audit report, where I can audit changes between different versions and get a report of what the diff is between the versions. So I don't have to go compare two screens and try to figure out what changed back in time between versions. I can actually get a report that's going to tell me end to end exactly what happened. So those are some of the great version control capabilities that we have. So you just saw full version history, the ability to isolate between dev and prod. You can roll these things back instantly. You can clone and create new workflows for other versions, all sorts of abilities to treat branch. So a lot of really great deep version controls for you, very comprehensive. But we didn't stop there with versions. We built upon it to give you sign off and approval capabilities as well. So a lot of us work in environments where it's important to have segregation of duties between makers and checkers, or builders and approvers. So whoever builds the workflow and spends their time doing it, they still need to get approval and sign off, whether it's from a direct manager, it's someone from an IT or another governing position. They need to sign off on the changes or on the flow itself before you can go move it into a production environment. So let me show you how that works, building on top of the version controls we already have. So I'm working on draft 9 now in this example, right? I've already published 8, I'm on 9. And let's say now as the builder, I've decided this is ready for review. I want to move this from a test mode or here into production. So here now in Savant, you can come, you request approval. I can put in a comment about exactly what this changes when it goes to my manager for approval. Then I come in, I request approval, and it's going to send a notification off to whoever the designated reviewer is for this workflow or this workspace. And they'll come in, they'll be able to review, see my notes, and either approve it, make their own comments, they can reject it, they can send it back, all sorts of detailed controls. And then you'll notice in this run history, or sorry, this version history itself, for every single version, you have the exact notes that the submitter put on when they asked for approval to move this production. You'll see what the approver notes were as well, and you have a really deep version history. So you have full detailed version management now with this. So it's version controls and it's sign-off approvals workflows for that control layer, for that segregation of duties, and to have a comprehensive sort of immutable record of this for your business, of what your processes were at different times. And then last, the last thing is these are really great controls for you as you're trying to govern your workflow environment. But a lot of us also still need to be able to have reporting on this over time, not just going into the product and looking at screens, but be able to actually show people audit logs, evidence collection logs, those sort of things of exactly what has happened over time. So the last thing we've added in this release is detailed Savant logs that detail all sorts of activity in the system. So you can build these audit reports, and that can help you with your SOX activities. It can even just be used if you're maybe an administrator in Savant or an IT manager and you want to track usage of the platform. You can build your own custom usage reports with these logs as well. So let me show you how those work. So jumping over here, our Savant logs have several components to them. There's access control logs, so you can understand who logged in when users were provisioned, what roles they have, when their roles changed, et cetera, et cetera. There's operational activity logs, so you can understand when workflows were run, what the history is, what the scheduling history is, where they triggered via scheduling automation, a webhook trigger or that you use with a business app. And then there's this change management option, really important, right? You want to, with the version controls, we're giving you a way to control how versions move to production. With the change management logs, you now have the ability to see granular detail about every version change, every node change within a version, every little detail you can get reporting on so you can approve what happened when, and you can investigate and understand what's happening end to end, the changes in your workflow and in your system. So these are really, really powerful. To make them really easy, though, for folks to use, we built a series of templates for you to get some pre-canned reports that you can then go and customize. So again, these are for SOX evidence collection. If you want to just platform usage, there's all sorts of templates for you. I'll show you one of our SOX templates right now. So this is one that's going to create a nice evidence package for you for SOX purposes. So you deploy this template, you'll get this nice built-out process flow. It's using our Savant Logs. So again, they're very detailed and powerful, but you really want to usually transform this into something very specific for your needs. So we have these pre-canned template workflows that'll do that for you. You deploy these, you can customize these however you want, and then you'll get these really nice evidence reports built for you. So here's an example of what that could look like with our template. So here's an example of the SOX evidence report package. It has sort of every dimension that you need to show log history for. So compliance reports, change management reports across your workflows, all sorts of great details. End to end, this is really designed to be your easy button for governance, for SOX, for all sorts of controls on how Savant is being used in your enterprise.
Matt, looking at, versions, approvals, logs, all of these features that are coming at once, right? For teams that already have some governance process in place, right? There's not many teams I come across that don't have, some governance in place already, spreadsheets, tickets, manual approvals rather. What changes on them on day one when they start using the automated governance versioning and approvals capabilities that are coming out of Savant?
Yeah, that's a great question, Barry. For those of you who I've had the pleasure of chatting with before, I think you hear me talk a lot about the importance of ease of use and sort of lowering the manual pain threshold that is, in a lot of analytics. That spirit absolutely is in everything we're doing here. So traditionally, with a lot of analytics and analytic platforms, you can still do compliant processes with them for your organization, but it requires a huge manual process regime outside and around that technology. That means really complex ticketing systems your IT teams need to set up. It means that you have to do a ton of manual evidence collection. If you're doing like a month close finance, for example, every month you have to be collecting a ton of evidence to show exactly what you did, and it's very manual, time consuming to go do. If you're doing moving from test to production, you through your Jira or other type of ITSM systems have to build out your own manual process about how you control all that. It's expensive, it's clunky, it's time consuming, it's hard to do. So what we wanted to do is give everyone an easy button to take away all that pain, free up all of those hours, and just make it so the system's automatically supporting you and your compliance needs, and you don't need to do very much, right? You're now going to get automated evidence reports. And so instead of having to sit there and take screenshots and make manual logs yourself, the system's just going to send you everything you need automatically at the end of every month close, for example. So hopefully you all appreciate this, see it as a big way to step forward for you. Gives you a lot of time back while allowing you to still be compliant with your enterprise needs. Great. All right. Next big addition to the platform would be people perhaps in procurement, supply chain, other areas of finance, FP&A. We've added geospatial capabilities into the platform now. So just like we have all these robust capabilities for traditional data analytics, and we've added in the last 6 months and year AI capabilities around unstructured data analytics. Now we're also adding in geospatial analytics as well. So let me show you a bit of what this looks like on the platform. Okay, so we've tried again, easy button, make everything simple. Just naturally integrate geospatial into your normal analytic workflows with everything else. So you don't need to be like a GIS expert to come in now and do geospatial analytics. We've built this in a way, hopefully, that feels very intuitive, a very low learning curve for folks who've never done geospatial before. Or if you're a geospatial power user, you'll come in and you'll see all the capabilities you're used to seeing in a nice, simple, integrated way in the platform. So I'll show you a couple quick examples of how this works. So here I have a series of shape files with different geodata in them. First thing we've done is we built in really nice exploration visuals for you. So really nice map views. You can come in, understand your data. While you work on it, you can see the changes. So here, for example, I'm seeing a map of some of my water districts and other distribution network data in Africa, which gives me a really good sense and shape of this data. Just like I'm used to seeing traditional data in tables, I need to see geospatial data in maps. And there's a lot of nice interactive features here for you that are really rich. So you can click on it, interact, and get data back about every single object and polygon, geospatial data. You could toggle different layers on and off, etc. A ton of really good, rich features here. So you can get very hands-on with your geospatial data. Beyond just the visualizing of it, though, we built in a lot of these special geospatial tools for geospatial summarization type operations and for geospatial aggregation type operations. So I won't spend too much time here, but I'll show you a bit of what these tools are like to use. They're very intuitive. So if you're used to doing a group by or a summarize, for example, on data, this will feel the same. But now it's built for you to do geospatial type operations. Or I can grab my data. I can say I want to build a bounding box around my different polygons. I want to combine a lot of polygons into one bounding box, or I want to find the geometric center across a lot of points, or I have a lot of points and I want to build a polygon with them, or a polyline, or I want to intersect two objects, you name it. All here in a simple pick list lets you do sort of anything you can think of you need to do with a lot of multi-input geospatial operations you can now do here in a very simple way. And then the last thing I'll quickly show is we also have the ability, if you want to row by row manipulate geospatial data in our traditional transform tool, which is sort of built to be your all-in-one spreadsheet inline function builder. You can also come in now and do geospatial as well. So if you want to come in and you want to do some geospatial formulas on any inline geospatial data, you'll come here, you'll see with all your other functions, a rich set of nice geospatial functions to do more types of transformations. So you can do simple things like validate on a spatial object to make sure it's not corrupt, it's a valid geometric object. You can get the area of a polygon. You can build a centroid from a polygon. You get the difference between 2 points, all sorts of things that you need to do in geospatial, all capable here. And this is just a quick demo. We have other tools for making grids and doing trade areas and all sorts of really rich geospatial operations. Yeah, I could spend a whole hour going through this here. If you're someone who works in geospatial, please reach out. We'd love to take you through it and get your feedback on it as well. Hopefully you find it really easy to use and really powerful for all your geospatial needs.
I've been having way too much fun with this, Matt. I pulled in like a drive time API and then used that with our polygon creation feature. And I've started like mapping out restaurants depending on like drive time away from the house and then like group those into like how much date night time I have. So now we have like tiers of restaurants. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to break up your flow. Keep going.
No, that's great, man. Again, sort of the sky's the limit. All these trade area things you can do, drive times, nearest neighbors, territories, you name it. We have a lot of really great. I should also mention we have a lot of really great templates as well for geospatial. So come in, you'll be able to get started really quickly with these as well. All right. Last area I'm going to show some quick demos on. Let's go ahead and jump into vision agent skills. So if you were here for our fall webinar, our fall release, we were really excited to show you our all new vision agent for processing unstructured data like PDFs, images, documents, that sort of thing, where through simple prompting, you can go and extract information from an invoice or a bank statement, or, I think we had a fun example. Our engineers loved if they had an image of a family of capybaras, if you're familiar with these giant rodents, and they're pulling out all sorts of information about the capybaras from the image. Really, the sort of sky's the limit with vision. And we've given it a big enhancement in this release as well. So we've now added skills to vision. So what it's going to do is it's going to really simplify the prompt engineering process. So you don't have to be a prompt engineering expert to come in and be able to do all the processing you need to do. So example, here's an invoice. I want to go pull out the information from this invoice or multiple invoices and use it in my process. Before, you might need to go spend some time engineering a sizable prompt in Vision to go do that. This is a real example, sort of what these things tend to look like when you're defining the inputs, you're finding an overview of the process, the task, really getting into the details of what the output needs to look like and the rules for it, all these strict rules it needs to follow for accuracy, etc. Be a bit time consuming. So what we've done is we've added a library of skills now to make Vision really streamline the process of using Vision on your documents. So let me show you what it's like now. Here's the world now with Vision skills. So you're going to come in, you're going to use Vision, you're going to see this wonderful skills library now. So if you're processing invoices, bank statements, purchase orders, contracts, you name it, on and on and on. If you're in procurement and you have bills of lading, if you're in finance and you have to deal with credit debit memos, you name it. We have all of these wonderful skills built into Vision. So Vision is, you're going to tell it to use its pre-built skill for invoice, for example, and it's now going to understand invoices really well. It knows how to handle them, how to run through them, the gotchas. You don't have to worry about putting in all those edge case rules or anything like that. All you really need to do now is come in. You're gonna put in exactly, just say what fields you want. It's that simple. Hey, look across all these invoices, find things that look like an invoice number, or look like a purchase order number, or a tax amount, you name it. And then it's going to be able to go and process your information and give you really nice structured information back. So this should hopefully be a big win for anyone processing documents, doing unstructured data analytics in Savant today, or if you haven't gotten to the tool yet and you're still doing a lot of manual work on PDFs, this should give you a ton of time back and be very easy to go implement and deploy with these skills. Not only do we have this list of pre-built skills, we also have one called AnyDoc. So if you have a document that we don't have a pre-built skill for, we still put in a lot of best practices for Vision to help clean up messy documents, messy scans, all sorts of things. So you just come in, you click AnyDoc, you're going to get prompted with a few things to fill in. You just tell Vision a bit about what type of file it is. You give it the field names you want, for example, that sort of thing. Sometimes you have a massive amount of pages. You only want to process some pages, not all the pages in the document. So you can tell it what the rules are, what pages to process, stuff like this. Really simple, a really short little template to fill out. A lot more skill knowledge behind it for Vision with this, and it's going to go in and help you really solve any sort of document problem you've been working on. So net of it is complex prompt engineering like this, like say goodbye to it. With these Vision skills, it's going to be much easier to get started and get value out of Vision for you. All right. So yeah, we just went through Vision, the skills. Now, last thing I want to go through is this new Lightning Engine upgrade. This is a big thing. We're always working on performance. It's fun. We're never satisfied. We always want to get this engine, processing engine, analytics engine faster for you all. Someone actually made, I talked about governance earlier, and I was talking with someone in finance recently, and he points out something really interesting to me. They said, when getting your month close processes and other processes done on time is actually a compliance requirement, processing speed becomes an important part of governance. It really is. Like, if you want to meet your governance objectives, you need to have a high speed performant platform. So we invested just a tremendous amount of time in this new Lightning engine that we put in. So if you're a new customer coming in to Savant, you'll automatically be put on this Lightning engine. If you're an existing customer, you don't have to worry. There's nothing for you to do. We're just in the background automatically upgrading everyone to this Lightning engine. So you either have seen or will soon see, hopefully see big improvements in your processing time for your flows. We've measured this on average. It's 5x faster across all data sizes and volumes. You can be running 10,000 rows in your analysis. You can be running 10 million or a billion rows, and you're still going to see big performance gains. On average, 5 times faster for the processing steps. And overall, what we've seen the ranges is anywhere from 3 times faster to up to 10, and I've seen 12, 15 times faster, really depending on some of the flows. So hopefully you all will be feeling the benefits of this either now ready or very shortly, depending on where you're in your upgrade cycle. Give you more of a sense of this, we're always trying to benchmark and understand how we compare to other leading cloud compute engines out there. So, no, sorry, thanks to my engineers for having a little fun with me. That's a capybara, by the way, for everyone. That's sort of what they look like. So ignore that guy. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've done some comparisons, as I said, to other Spark clusters out there in the cloud, leading ones out there. And for business type analytics or finance workflows where you need auditability at every step to understand how your data is processed and all these other sort of really important browse capabilities while you're running flows, we end up being much, much faster now. Shorter run times overall. Again, come in, check out the Lightning Engine. You think you'll see sort of the leading edge of what that's out there for this processing capability.
That's very cool, Matt. I know that we had a few more updates to share outside of the four major themes. Are we going to get there now?
Yeah, thank you, Barry. Perfect. Okay, so other major stuff, because we're doing a lot at once. We're just, kind of highlighting the major things for you today, but there is a lot of other areas we're constantly investing in. So one is deeper and deeper integration into the leading ERP. So in this release, we spent a lot of time working on integrations with Oracle Fusion Financial Cloud and NetSuite on their custom reports. So again, a lot of great feedback that people loved our ability to connect to these ERPs to read data in so you can process that data in other ways, build financial reports, and run other processes. But one thing folks really wanted to have was not the ability to not just pull in standard data out of these ERPs, but a lot of times you've already built really powerful custom reports in your ERP. And you want to be able to read those custom reports as you've designed them in Oracle or in NetSuite already and read those into Savant. So you don't have to try to recreate them in Savant. We can just read from them. So those are new capabilities in this spring release. We also, with SAP, we've had the ability to read with SAP. Now we're adding the ability to write back to SAP, the S4 HANA app itself. This allows you to, pull from SAP, maybe messy journal entries, help clean them up, and then update them back in your SAP, for example. So a lot of great capabilities there across the ERP stack now for everyone. There's a lot more we're always doing, like supersizing our Excel capabilities. Now if you have Excels that are a gig and above, we're going to be able, with our new streaming reader writer, be able to handle those as well. If you do have Excels that large, you shouldn't have any problems with this anymore. We can now handle all of this. I'm impressed if you have an Excel that large like that. I think I've tried to open one of those once and it took down my laptop. So, but however you're working on it, we have you covered. A lot of other great stuff I won't fully go through here. I will call out, we are always in the latest and greatest of the AI models. So Claude 4.7 just came out. So if you want to be running your vision on the new Claude 4.7, we can go do that with you as well. All right. Those are all the major announcements, except there is one more thing, as Barry kind of teased in the beginning, AI related, that I'd like to take a moment to just tell you all about. So before we wrap, what I'm about to show you, it's probably the most important thing we're building this year. AI is everywhere right now, but I think, as Barry alluded to earlier, the moment you try to use it in production flows, things start to break. And we talked a lot about the governance and controls you need around these processes. And there's sort of a lack of control on what these agents are always doing in the background. And when it is running, you don't always understand how it got there. And then you try to take it from running maybe on 2 PDFs to 500 PDFs, and it's not scaling across, your real enterprise scale data. And, things start to fall apart. So that's the gap we've been focused on and what we're quietly working on. This is what we're calling internally our Project Nova. It's not just AI that answers questions, but it's AI that can actually operate. So with Nova, you won't lose that control we were just talking about. You'll actually define it. You won't lose visibility. You'll understand every step. And you don't hit a scaling ceiling. It'll scale across your real data, not just samples. So to give you guys an idea of what this looks like, this is, our vision for analytics agents that are instantly familiar, where everything is accessible for you. So you can come in, you can converse, like you've seen with Claude and others, you can start to work on your data. And beyond that, though, you'll see that it's not just running something black box, but Once it's thought and determined the right solution for you, it's communicating back to you in a way that every step of the process is determined is visible. Everything is understandable, auditable, controllable. And because it's ultimately designing this to run on Savant, everything runs at full scale on your data and backed by our new Lightning engine. So we think this is a massive, massive jump forward for AI analytics. And this isn't just faster, it's something we think you can actually deploy in your business. So we're unveiling this full platform soon. This is just a little tease of what's coming with our Project Nova. And if you want early access or a deeper look, please sign up for the launch. We'd love to get you hands on with it.
Absolutely. That is incredibly cool, Matt. I mean, bridging the gap between giving analysts the flexibility to build quickly using a chat interface, something that comes really naturally. Governance, repeatability behind it is, again, I think the biggest prize out there in the market right now, right? So I'm glad that that's the problem that we're looking to solve. Okay, now over to questions more pertinent to what we covered today. So for Nova, someone did ask, is this a separate product from Savant or is it built into the same platform we're already using?
It'll be built into the same platform. It's just a new AI layer on top of it for everyone.
Can the approvals workflows, I guess we're going to the versioning and approvals. Can approvals workflow be scoped to a specific workflow or team, or is it platform wide once it's adopted?
It's scoped on the workspace or the organization level, so you'll have controls there.
Okay. And who controls who can be an approver in a sign-off workflow?
It's a great question. So as part of our role-based access controls on the workspace level, you'll have the ability to set folks up who are the approver role.
Right. And I did get another question asking, will Nova build workflow using a conversational interface? I think just to clarify that, Matt.
Yeah, I won't get in. I'll tease this a little bit, but the quick answer is we're building a methodology we call it's thinking and then it's thinking, planning, and then execution. So thinking is what you're used to doing in ChatGPT or Claude today, where it's going to look at, your Excel file or samples of your data. It's going to ask questions, help refine a bit of what you want to go do. But the trick is how do you get that into something repeatable and deterministic that you can go control and audit later and that can run at large scale. So that's where the planning phase comes in and actually is that translation layer into Savant process that you can then again, anyone can come in and understand exactly what the processes are or the steps are and audit it. That's planning. And then execution is actually running it at scale, building in human the loop controls that go with it so it can escalate all sorts of amazing other capabilities that are coming.
Cool. One on vision skills. What is the simplest way to check the accuracy of your vision output?
Great question. Yeah, I think we have a place in the community we can point you to on best practices there. Typically what I recommend is when you're setting up a new vision process, what you want to do is test it on, a right size sort of sample of your data and compare the accuracy. If you're trying to do this on 10,000 pages, right, there's sort of no way to do that. So you want to do is set up these tests that are enough that you can actually check the accuracy yourself and validate it and make sure it's at your organization's requirement level. And I usually say a few things quick on this one. Understand that I think typically if you went and audited what humans are extracting out of PDFs, there is an error rate there. So, just kind of figure out what accuracy level your organization has been comfortable with and wants to be comfortable with, right? It's an important conversation for everyone to go have. And then the second thing I'll add is, this isn't like our LLM behind Vision. We have a bring your own model philosophy. So if you're an OpenAI shop or an Anthropic shop, a Gemini shop, we let you plug that in and we're going to use the best models available from them. So whatever you're used to doing in your chatbot interface on PDF extraction, you should be able to see similar results to what you're going to get with Swan.
Awesome. We're incredibly excited about what we're building. We hope you're excited too. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.